Want to watch football without the restrictions of blackouts or cable? Check out expressvpn.com to help you get access to all the live games. Sign up today using the link in the description to get 3 free months.
Yo to Bolt fam, it's the director. Chargers fans, apologies for not having this video out yesterday. Little under the weather here. I'm sorry, okay? We got 3 kids in and out of the house, public education system. We got every which cold coming in and out of the house all the time. But you know what? We had to talk a little bit about this Chargers win over the New York Jets, which is proving to be a very important win for the Chargers in terms of momentum, in terms of the rest of their season. And honestly, what us as Chargers fans need to be doing in terms of our stock in this team for the 2023 season. I think you asked us just, a couple of weeks ago, Chargers fans would tell you the season's over. Let's try and sell off what we can and get ready for the 2024 season. Well, after this game, and maybe after the past couple of games, I think we can start looking at this season as, okay, there's something to salvage here, something to gain here. And I think in terms of the Chargers' chances at making the postseason as a wild card berth are very much so alive. And we all know the name of the game is to get in. After that, anything can happen. The Chargers got just good as chance as anybody in the league to make something happen in the postseason. So it's going to be an interesting one. Let's go ahead and go over this Chargers win over the Jets and go over exactly what all the positive consequences are of that this week. Now, before we do get started, guys, shout out to the sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. If you guys want to get in on the best fantasy platform on the web, use code DIRECTOR to match your first deposit up to $100. If you guys are interested in getting in as a newcomer before the Thursday night matchup tomorrow, you'll get access to this special Bryce Young half-yard special for you guys there. Before we do kick off, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's jump right into it. Lights, camera,
Action!
Your Chargers at Jets post-game report. We'll call this one the momentum. I kind of like it. Let's go ahead and start things off by kind of letting you guys know what my perspective on this game was in terms of the victory, okay? This was, by definition, in my opinion, a team win. And some people will say, well, the offense didn't do enough to justify it being a team win. Let me explain. First off, the Chargers were going into this one, a situation knowing that the offense was probably going to struggle. The Jets are a top defense in the league, especially certain versus the pass, and the Chargers are going to have to find a way to win despite that. And when you come up against situations like this in the NFL, you got a couple different scenarios or a couple different choices that you can make. A lot of the time, you'll see stubborn coaches and stubborn coordinators kind of force their will on a game plan, saying, you know what we are as a football team. We're going to make that work despite the opponent. And yes, sometimes that can be the right call. You want to lean on your strengths, but other times you want to adjust and find a way to squeak in between the cracks and find chinks in the armor in order to attack an opponent that does have a lot of strengths in one area. And in terms of the Jets, that pass defense is one of the best in the league. The Chargers had to find a way to score despite that. And funny enough, it didn't come off of the shoulders of the offense. It came off the shoulders of the other units of this football team. Special teams and defense. Yes, offense deserves credit here too. I know a lot of people are going to discredit that, but offense did provide a lot of drives that took a lot of time off the clock. I think Justin Herbert converted 4 first downs in one drive, an 8-minute drive at one point to help the Chargers keep the game in front of them, keep the score in front of them. And it really did help contribute. But where we really did shine this week was special teams and defense. The special teams lit a spark, I think, to start this game off. Of course, Darius Davis. The return touchdown was very huge. Obviously, the energy, I'm sure, in the building, the energy on the sidelines. I saw a lot of Chargers fans there at the game, by the way. Shout out to you, the Bolt fam, for traveling. New York, definitely going to be a fun destination there. And then certainly on the stream as well. But definitely a huge contributor was that special teams. Darius Davis, Cameron Dicker, who I think deserves a lot of credit from the Chargers fandom. Guys, we've been without a great kicker for a long time as Chargers fans. I'll tell you guys, a long time. Finally, we've got that Mr. Reliable at the kicker position. That makes me feel a lot better going forward. So special teams definitely looked really good. Defense really helped throttle, Zach Wilson, not allowing any touchdowns. A big part of the preview I talked about was limiting the Jets' success on third downs, taking advantage of the most success we can on offense in our third downs, and we actually did accomplish that this week. The Chargers only allowed 3 out of 17 third down attempts for the Jets. I think ultimately that could have led to the win right there. No momentum being able to be gained by New York, and the Chargers being able to find a way to get off the field defensively just looked really, really good out there. Really, really good. And I think in terms of looking forward past this game, it was a very important way to win this week. Sure, you can say, the Chargers slapped around the Bears, but we won 30 points. That's pretty cool, but maybe not as something that we expected. Then we go out there and we score 26 on the Jets, who, I mind you guys, not a lot of teams have scored that many points on them. The way we won that game makes me feel like there's hope for the future. The Chargers finding a way to completely, as a team unit, right, find a way to win this game despite the lack of offense, despite maybe not Justin Herbert's best outing. Being able to lean on the special teams and the defense shows me that this is a very complete team when all of the gears are moving and all of the parts of this team are functioning as designed. Very, very impressed and proud of the Chargers this week for not just winning, but winning in a way that proves to me that this can be and should be and function, at least this week, as a complete football team on all facets. Very, very impressive. Perhaps the most impressive part of this team going forward, and maybe one of the best images I've ever seen as a Chargers fan, is going to involve the pass rush. I actually took this image and posted it on Twitter and on Instagram after the game, saying this photo is everything. And it really is, man. Tuipulotu is the future of this team and at the edge position, and honestly a great representation of the Chargers' strength on defense right now. We finally have an identity on defense. Probably still need some time to find out what we are in offense, but on defense at least, we are one of the meanest pass rushing teams in the NFL. Dare I say actually, I don't even have to say dare I say, Chargers are a top 3 unit in the league when it comes to pass rush. I think tied with the Kansas City Chiefs at 2. And then the only team above us, I don't actually remember, but very, very impressive stat. I think 31 sacks on the season. Tuipulotu, the breakout rookie star, is a big reason for that. And seeing him out there with the Joey Bosa Big Bear shrug, right? And then Bosa out there looking like a proud dad, like seeing young Tuli go in there. These guys seem to be very close already. And of course, with help of guys like Khalil Mack and Morgan Fox, this team is mean. I can't think of a team in the NFL that's going to want to face this pass rushing unit of the Chargers. Again, that not just only features Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack anymore, but Tuli and Morgan Fox, very, very dangerous. 8 sacks this week, y'all. 3 forced fumbles. And that's a big reason why you want these sacks. You kill drives, but also give yourself a chance at turning over the football. Whether it be from an errant throw from the quarterback that gets picked off, or in the case of the Chargers recently, being able just to throw that arm in there and peanut punch that ball right out and get your offense back on the field. Very impressive start to the season. I should say first half of the season for the Chargers pass rush. And I honestly think it's going to get better. I think the Chargers have a shot at leading the league in sacks this season. And I think, honestly, at this point, Tuipulotu, he may have a shot at Defensive Rookie of the Year if he keeps this up. I don't have the official stat in front of me. I apologize. But I think it's 7 sacks on the year so far, right? It might be 4. I'm pretty sure it's 7. Either way, this man is outpacing some of the best edge draft class players in this rookie year that I've seen in a long time, right? This class of edge players is absolutely insane. And Tuli is leading them in sacks so far in 2023. Absolutely insane. Nolan Smith. All these guys out here, okay? It's Tuli, the 2nd round pick for the Chargers. We are an elite pass rushing team, baby. Let's go. And that is something that we can use to our advantage to further propel ourselves as a successful postseason team this year. Speaking of the defense, man, I want to give proper dues to this man right here. I see him getting overlooked a little bit. Not on my watch, man. Alohi Gilman. Okay, I think some people, myself included, and a lot of other guys on YouTube, started to notice Alohi reaching new heights at the end of last season, becoming a contributing factor in terms of turnovers, big playability, certainly the physicality behind his tackling, but overall his reliability at the safety position last season, okay? Mind you, last season he felt like he was more of a support role guy in when Derwin James was moving around, right? Now this season, the Chargers have asked him to be the starting free safety for the Bolts. And honestly, yeah, the injury did derail the season a little bit for him. But before that, and now in his return, he's been a huge force of nature for this defense. I think he's had a contributing hand in forcing turnovers in the last, 2 or 3 games that he's played, which is ridiculous. He gets in there for those forced fumbles. He gets in there disrupting passes. I think one was intercepted by Derwin James, right? This man's been a force for the Chargers at safety. And he did it again this week, returning that fumble all the way to, I think, the 2-yard line. Chargers punched it in with Austin Eckler shortly after that. Alohi Gilman. I hope this is one that doesn't get away from us, man. Chargers have kind of been known for developing these players real nice. I think the Adrian Phillips story is kind of what we're trying to avoid here. And then letting him go in another team reaps the benefits of all of that progression. Alohi's one of those players where I'm like, I really, really, really don't want to see him leave the building without a new contract at the end of the season. Congratulations to Alohi, man. I think officially I can say he is broken out in 2023. And the Chargers have a really, really nice combo of safeties in him and Derwin James. Speaking of the defense again, man, the run D is finally here. Yes, contributing. You got guys like Tuli Tuipulotu. You got Derwin James, but that's the point. That's why I wanted to show this. The Chargers have been a really good unit overall in defending the run. Yeah, of course, you got the interior guys, Austin Johnson, Sebastian Joseph Day. Those guys certainly going to have the most immediate impact on that stat line, and they've been doing a great job. But the Chargers have also been doing a really good job at getting the other positions heavily involved in defending the run this year. If there was a complete 180 that we've seen anywhere on the roster, it's been the Chargers' ability to defend against running backs. And the linebackers are contributing. The edge players are contributing. Derwin James and safeties are contributing. Everybody's contributing. And there's a success rate there that we haven't seen in a long time. That is something that we have to feel, again, contributes to our identity on defense this season. We are an elite pass rushing team with a really good run defense, and hopefully the pass defense catches up at this point of the season. Yes, we haven't played the best passing teams the last couple of weeks, but they have been looking really good. Hopefully that momentum can carry into the second half of the season, because my goodness, guys, even if the pass defense becomes average, we're in a really good spot. Because with a pass rush strength that the Chargers have, they're going to get way more opportunities to make big plays in terms of interceptions. With the run defense looking as good as it is, they'll get more opportunities to do stuff like that. I don't know, man. Chargers run deep and pass rushing looks absolutely fantastic. And I like what the Chargers are doing in terms of creativity. Finally, I will say we're starting to see a lot of stuff from Brandon Staley's system that I was hoping to see the last couple of years actually start to work out. The one missing piece is that bona fide cornerback one that generates a lot of interceptions and stuff like that. But outside of that, man, it's starting to really come together. Creative blitz packages, run defense that's really nice in the interior. Looks really good. Looks really, really good. Next up, who do we got? Look at this photo, man. Chargers fans, how long we've been waiting for this one. We finally got some speed on this team, baby. And I think this win is heavily contributed to the success and early spark provided by Darius Davis, the returner for the Chargers. I was getting a little bit worried, not even like a minute into the game, that the Chargers offense was not going to be able to keep up. And it was going to be so low scoring that the Jets would have a chance to catch up all game long. And that kind of changed a little bit when I saw Darius Davis take that return all the way to the house. I was like, holy crap. That might just be the revved up boost that we need to stay in front, which we did. At that point, the Chargers took off. They never let go of the lead. And it was sparked by the special teams. That was huge, especially versus an opponent that's going to be so tough to pass on. If there was a game this season that the Chargers needed help in terms of scoring from Darius Davis, it was this game, and he delivered. Not just in his ability to return and score points, which, yeah, it's probably only going to happen once or twice a year if we're lucky, which that's what makes this even more impressive. But the fact that he did contribute in some really nice returns outside of that. I think it was just before the first half concluded, the Chargers had something like a minute left, maybe less, to go out there and maybe put up some more points. But we needed a good return. I think we had like 38 seconds left or something like that. We needed a good return from Darius Davis, and he delivered. I think he put us somewhere in around midfield, and the Chargers needed just a good couple of plays to position themselves for 3 points, which Cameron Dicker nailed. I think it was a 55-yard field goal. Very, very nice effort there. And the reason I bring up Cameron Dicker is because he is also a huge playing factor in terms of the special teams. Very, very nice performance there by ST. And hopefully we get to see that continue to play a factor in the Chargers' success going forward. We finally have a returner. We have speed. We have a kicker. Special teams is looking to be in some of the best shape that I've seen as a Chargers fan. Very exciting to see. Speaking of the receivers, man, big ups to Keenan Allen. I don't know how many of you guys were in my stream on Monday, but something pretty big happened with Slayer that game. Keenan Allen on this play, probably the most spectacular catch of the game. Yes, the most spectacular catch of the game. One of the most spectacular catches of his career. Keenan Allen, with this grab, has logged officially 10,000 yards in his NFL career, which is a huge accomplishment. Huge. And it just, again, goes to show that the Chargers have, even today, in his twilight years, age 31, 32, one of the best receivers in the NFL. And he's on, I don't know if we call it a revenge tour, but he's on a tour this season to prove that he is separate from the pack. Because you talk about receivers at this point in their career, you're thinking about moving on, grabbing the next young guy, which the Chargers did do with Quentin Johnston, which we got to give him a break too, guys. He was going up against Sauce. But Keenan Allen is proving that he does have more of that Larry Fitzgerald style and longevity to his career. I think we have a couple more years, if not more, with Keenan Allen. And to see him playing at this level is hugely, hugely impressive. And we're very blessed to have him here. Of course, we're wearing the Keenan Allen today in celebration of that. Thank you so much, Keenan Allen, man. 10,000 yards. One of the last standing San Diego Chargers, still making an impact with the team today. Now, a couple of things I did want to mention in this video before we wrap up. Some maybe the overreactions I'm seeing in terms of social media. If you guys are active on Twitter or Instagram, Facebook, you'll see that there was a lot of scrutiny over this win with Justin Herbert. Come on, man. I get it, okay? Herbert ended the day with under 200 yards, no touchdowns. And of course, there's going to be people out there that come after him saying, this wasn't Justin Herbert's doing, right? Like, they won despite Justin Herbert having a bad game. I respectively disagree. Because honestly, we kind of knew this was going to be the case. And I think Justin Herbert ended up doing better than I expected him to in terms of ball security. We have to remember, this Jets defense shut down Patrick Mahomes. 200 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions for Pat Mahomes. Josh Allen, I think 200 yards, 230, I think. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Yes, Justin Herbert didn't throw the touchdown this week. Didn't have to. Chargers had a couple goal to score opportunities. But he also didn't turn the ball over, which is pretty huge. He was also a master. He put on a master class in terms of chewing the clock this week too. Finding a way to keep the score in front of him. Keep drives alive. Again, I think he converted 4 third downs on that drive that resulted in 8 minutes off the clock late in the game. Herbert did what he needed to do. And I think it's okay. You got to give your franchise quarterback some leeway when coming up against defenses like this. Sure, you would like to see him light it up and be like that exception at quarterback that lights up one of the best defenses in the league. But we knew it was going to happen. And I think that's what separates the Chargers in terms of their ability to win these games despite those setbacks. And what I mean by that is, if I were Kellen Moore and I were the Chargers, I would have gone into this game knowing that we're probably not going to get the classic Justin Herbert 300 yards, 2 to 3 touchdown game. So how do we win despite that? And they did it. The defense stepped up big time. Big time. And some of you guys will say, the coaching didn't have much to do with that. Yeah, they did. The fact that they were attacking Zach Wilson with these unique blitz packages so often gave themselves a bigger chance at forcing more turnovers, which, yes, is a little risky, but they weighed the risk-reward here. And it gave Justin Herbert in the offense positioning to go out there and score with Austin Eckler a couple of times, but more importantly, kept the score in front of him and the clock in front of him. Yes, Justin Herbert, a bit of a double-edged sword here. Wasn't able to overcome the elite defense of the Jets, but the Chargers were able to adjust and find a way to win despite that. And it proves to me that the team, again, is so complete. That when ran properly and executed properly, this team is so complete that even on a Justin Herbert down day, we can find a way to win. Okay? Now, one thing I will say that the Chargers do definitely need to figure out soon, and maybe even with like a free agent signing if we have to, we got to get this run game going, man. Kellen Moore, some of his best success in terms of running an offense has come off the back of a good run game. We haven't seen that this season, maybe outside of like 1 or 2 games, and that's not good. Austin Eckler, a great player. They're getting him more involved in the pass, which is definitely what they should continue doing. We got to find a way to get that run game back on track. But outside of that, I felt pretty good about this one. And I think the Chargers did too. One of the best and biggest results of this game happened in the locker room right afterwards, man. I don't know how many of you guys saw on Twitter and Insta, but this locker room looks completely different than what I'm used to seeing as a Chargers fan. A lot of insecurity, a lot of doubt most of the time. This week, especially after coming off the momentum of a huge win versus Chicago the week before, this is what you like to see. This is what a championship football team looks like in the locker room. That energy, that's fire, man. And if anything, as fans, we can ride the coattails of their enthusiasm. Keep this season fun and active for us as a Bolt fam. We're lucky. I get it. We're a 500 team now, 4-4. Maybe not the most impressive team in the league. We got to remember, dude, could be a lot worse. And in this season in particular, no team is immortal. The Bills don't look the same. The Chiefs don't look the same. It's still wide open. And to close out this video, that's what I kind of want to say. Hope has been reignited. The locker room has been united. And the season is only halfway over with a lot of momentum on our side. Our playoff hopes in this game, if you guys want numbers, I think they jumped, if I remember correctly reading it, I think they jumped from 14% to 36% with this win over the Jets, especially in the way that we won this game. And with Detroit, Green Bay, New England, Denver twice, and the Raiders upcoming, I think we have a shot at going on a winning streak here. I really do. Maybe a bump in the road versus like the Baltimore Ravens. But if the Chargers can win like 4 or 5 of their next 6 games, we're looking really nice in terms of our postseason hopes. And again, in gaining momentum and finding that streak. And lucky for us, the second half of the schedule, way more reasonable than the first half. This schedule as a whole this season, one of the tougher I've seen in a long time for the Chargers, but the first half was certainly so brutal. Luckily, the second half, I think 4-4 is not a bad start to go into the second half of the season, where the schedule is definitely not as brutal. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you think your new win-loss record for the Chargers is going to be. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say I think the Chargers are a 9-8 team. I do think we squeak into the postseason. You can convince me of a 10-7 as well. Either way, I think we're a wild card team at this point. And again, the name of the game is getting into the postseason. After that, anything can happen. The Chargers have good a shot as anybody. Take this momentum and create something special in the postseason so they can continue working as a complete football team. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. If you liked what you saw here, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. We'll see you next time. And as always, bolt up. Stay frosty. Hopefully we get a lot better soon here, guys. Oh, the NyQuil is certainly starting to get old.